A British admiral raised a flag. The order was simple: stop the attack. Pull back. Another admiral, closer to the fighting, looked straight at that flag and said he couldn't see it. This is the story of a man who won one of his hardest battles by refusing to obey a direct order in front of his own men. It happened on April 2nd, 1801, off the coast of Copenhagen. Britain feared Denmark's fleet might fall into Napoleon's hands, so a British force sailed in to neutralize it before that could happen. In overall command was Admiral Sir Hyde Parker. Second in command, leading the main attack up close, was Vice Admiral Horatio Nelson. The battle turned brutal fast. Danish gunners fought harder than expected. Several British ships ran aground in the shallow water. From his position farther back, in a heavier ship that couldn't get in close, Parker couldn't see how the battle was actually going. All he could see were British ships in trouble. So he made the cautious call. He raised the signal to disengage. Pull back. Save what you can. Nelson, up close, saw something completely different. He could see the Danish line was close to breaking. Pulling back now wouldn't just waste the advantage. It might force his own ships to retreat straight through enemy fire, making things worse, not better. When the signal reached Nelson's flagship, his signal officer reported it immediately. Nelson had already lost the sight in one eye years earlier in an earlier battle. He turned to his flag captain and said something that would outlive him by centuries. "You know, I have only one eye. I have a right to be blind sometimes." Then he raised his telescope to his blind eye and said, "I really do not see the signal." He ordered his own signal officer to acknowledge Parker's flag, but not repeat it down the line to the rest of the fleet. Most of his captains kept fighting. A handful of ships too far away to see Nelson's flagship directly followed Parker's order and pulled back, some taking heavy losses in the retreat itself. Nelson pressed the attack. Within hours, the Danish defense collapsed. An armistice followed, then a full peace agreement. Britain got exactly what it came for. Here's the part historians still argue about today. Some records suggest Parker had quietly given Nelson informal permission beforehand, that if the signal went up, Nelson could use his own judgment. If that's true, this wasn't really disobedience at all. It may have been theater, performed mostly for the benefit of a Royal Marine colonel standing nearby, who didn't know about any private arrangement, and needed a good story to explain why Nelson wasn't following the flag everyone else could see. Other historians reject that account entirely. They point to Nelson's own words, spoken openly later that same day. He said, plainly, that he had fought contrary to orders, not with discretion, not as agreed in advance, contrary to orders. What's not disputed is what happened next. Sir Hyde Parker was recalled to London in disgrace. Nelson was promoted to Commander-in-Chief of the fleet. The phrase Nelson used that day, "I really do not see the signal," eventually gave the English language an expression still used constantly, 2 centuries later, to turn a blind eye, whether it was genuine defiance or a private understanding dressed up as defiance for an audience. Nelson bet his entire career on the idea that the order in front of him was wrong. He was right. But being right isn't the same as being safe. If Nelson had misjudged that battle instead of winning it, that same story wouldn't be remembered as legend. It would be remembered as the day an admiral got court-martialed for looking at a flag with the wrong eye on purpose. If you were the officer standing beside him, watching your commander refuse to see an order everyone else could read clearly, would you have followed him or the flag?